Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Mindshare Podcast. This show is sponsored by Kits Keep in Touch Systems, a two-time international award-winning marketing suite for sales professionals, along with REM Real Estate Magazine, Canada's premier monthly magazine for real estate professionals. Learn more about our sponsor by visiting my site, mindshare101.com. And while you're there, be sure to download your free copy of my book, The Ultimate Marketing Bundle, as well as learn more about our one-to-one coaching and keynote speaking. Today's episode is number 242. Well, just like that, it's August. Where did that come from? Whew. I mean, I guess a mastermind, a trip to Jamaica, an epic time in Cooperstown, New York for a baseball tournament. All of that'll do that to you. But you know what? In hindsight, I will take it. Now, I haven't been up to the cottage yet, though. That's kind of an issue. But baseball's been crazy in a good way, as always. I do have to say that, baseball's a crazy game. It's a game that teaches you how to be competitive. It's a game that teaches you about the need to continue to put in the work, put in the effort so that you get the results. And this is something we talk with our players about all the time. Put in the effort and you get the results. But we also tell them that baseball is a game of failure. And this is why I think it's such an incredible game for the kids to play as they grow up. It makes them stronger. It makes them more resilient. It helps them understand that you really truly are going to lose, you're going to fail more than you win, more than you succeed. Now, some might beg the question of so why in the world would you play a game like that? Well, again, think about the learning moments here, right? Think about what think about what the kids are learning. Think about what they're going to be able to apply to life. And we can take that same thing here in the business world and make it synonymous with baseball and say that we need to get a lot of no's in order to get one yes. And as we do that, we then look and say, okay, but I think I'm doing everything right. What am I not doing right? How do I do it better? And sometimes just a tiny little tweak. For example, here, we played a ball game last night. Josh, my son, as you know, hit a bomb, just a beautiful hit, one bouncer off the far right field wall. But the thing to understand about that is he's a righty batter, which means if he's pulling the ball, he's going to left field. Instead, this is what we call he went opposite field. Now, why? Well, as we watched the recording of the video of the swing, of the at-bat, again, beautiful hit, got a double on the play, drove in a run, everything's good. So you think, well, but he knows what he's doing. What do you have to, adjust? And again, keep in mind, what I'm doing right now is I'm paralleling the sales world to the baseball world, right? So what's he got to do? Well, we looked and we said, okay, he's taking his front foot and he's kind of opening up a little bit too much. His weight is on his front foot instead of his back foot, so he's not balanced the way he should be. And you say, well, but again, he hit a double, one bouncer off the fence. Again, what would you adjust? And the reality is, if we can tweak that front foot, if we can tweak the weight being on his back, well, that ball just might be pulled to left field instead of right field, and he'll probably get a lot more power and another 5, 10, 15, 20 feet on that baseball, potentially putting it over the fence. These are little tweaks. This is what life is about. Tiny little adjustments to things that we need to be doing on a regular basis. Always having an open mind to the fact that we can get better. We can find different ways to do this. We can find different ways to adjust. We can look at what we're doing and we can figure to ourselves, what else can I do to make that better? This could be the way you approach a prospect. This could be the way you approach your follow-up. This could be in not the fact that you're just doing the follow-up, which I'm going to give you big cred for right there. If you're doing it, good for you, right? Fortune is always in the follow-up. Now we got to look and say, well, what is it that you're saying? What's your approach? How are you coming across the other person on the other line? Why didn't we get the deal? Why did they say no? Why are they still taking time? What didn't we ask? So you see what I'm saying here? He went up to bat, did a great job. You're making your follow-up calls, doing a great job. Now it's a matter of going, how can we tweak that to make it better? So I guess to just lump 2 points into one, but I wanted to give you a learning moment there to say that we can always improve. We can always take ourselves to our next level. And again, Baseball is this crazy game that continues to provide us those opportunities. And it's a great thing. Playoffs are coming up for us. We're getting prepped for that next week, we've been getting prepped for that the whole time. I did tell you that we went to Cooperstown, New York, and the truth is, I thought the boys might come back and be a lot better than they've been. But I think that there was a lot of amazing growth, a lot of amazing learning, and they certainly have a bond amongst them that is, next to unbreakable. And that is a very, very, very special thing. So anyhow, baseball aside, back to the cottage thing. We're going to make that happen at some point for sure. But, there's just so much going on right now. And the one thing I will say is that all of it is incredibly well planned. And I mean, that. We talk about that on a regular basis, right? The key to making things happen and doing it well, doing it organized for yourself to feel good about it and for the people that you're dealing with to feel good about it, it's your preparation. It's what you're doing to prepare day in and day out. And look, I get it. It can be tedious. And one thing I'm going to tell you right now, and this is going to sound totally ass backwards to you. I can't stand scheduling. What? Dave, all you do is talk about scheduling. Oh yeah, I know. But that's why I've got an amazing team to help me with my scheduling. Because one of the things for me is that when I go ahead and I want to look ahead in the schedule and I want to book an appointment, now I start looking at all the other things I got to be doing in a day, all the other things that could potentially be coming up. And of course, between our world, there's, businesses, there's sports, multiple businesses, multiple sports, there's family life, there's personal time. There's all these things. There's the goals we want to accomplish. So there's all these things that we want to get done. And now it's about looking at the schedule, looking ahead and saying, what am I going to do? When am I going to do it? And what do I need to work around? So, for example, as I say to you, cottage. Well, it just didn't fit in this summer so far. It just hasn't. So now I'm looking ahead and I'm saying, okay, when is baseball season over, right? When do we have time to actually get up there? So now it's a matter of looking 2, 3, 4 weeks ahead in advance in the schedule to have a realistic view of the things that I'm already committed to, the things that I'm going to need to be doing. And this way I can also prepare. And again, this is no different. Life is no different than the business. This is about the discipline. This is about the process. This is about how much effort we actually put in to preparing ourselves and scheduling. And like I said, as I use the baseball analogy and I use the follow-up analogy and tried to make those two kind of hand in hand with each other, again, it's all about those small little tweaks. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you're not getting enough done, if you're feeling just way too busy, there's so much going on, but there's nothing happening, hey, look at your process, look at your systems and ask yourself, what else do I need to do? Again, knowing what needs to get done and when is the key to getting it all done. And so that we also, of course, have a ton of fun doing it. Because just doing it and being stressed about it, well, that doesn't feel so good, right? And right now, I have to say, for all the coaching clients we're speaking to and all the conversations we're having across the board, it just really seems like life is really busy these days. Like everybody has so much going on. And like I said, so many people I'm talking to are saying the exact same thing. A lot of people are less motivated right now. Why? Well, there's a bunch of reasons for that, right? But they seem more demotivated than they have in a long time. In a number of months, maybe. Now, there's a few different factors out there. I mean, one of the things we're hearing about is that the market is slow. Well, yeah, the market is slow. We've seen 10 interest rate increases over the past, 365 days? It just doesn't stop. It truly feels like they're trying to kill the market right now. I'm watching gas prices this past week. Go to the gym. I think start of the week, I saw gas prices at $1.62. Then I saw them at $1.66. Then $1.67. Then last night, $1.68.9. They're not getting cheaper. Everything's just getting more expensive. And then there's people out there who are having trouble even paying for groceries. Now people are deciding between groceries and gas. Not to mention that I continue to hear from people now that there's a lot of their clients who are now needing to get out of that property that they might have purchased, say, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago. And I said this recently and I'll say it again. I have asked everybody, where is everybody getting the money from? What is going to happen in 3 to 5 years when renewals start? Are people going to be able to afford that extra $500, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 a month on their mortgage? Like, you think about it. If somebody went and took a $500,000 mortgage, that's $2,500 a month right there. You did $1 million mortgage. That's $5,000 a month-ish, randomly. Or kind of, when I say ish, give or take. But that's a lot of money to just be putting into the mortgage, plus the car, plus the gas, plus the utilities, plus everything else. I mean, households are having to bring in $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month minimum just to live normally. Look, here's what's going on right now. We've got apparently the hottest month on record that the planet has ever seen, which means people are out and trying to enjoy. Now, I know where we live around our ways, there's been a ton of rain, but the reality is good weather brings a lot of people, trying to take it easy, relax, and maybe not focus on the day-to-day that they normally focus on. Maybe do it in a lot of a much slower pace. Now, that's all of us. Every single one of us, we all feel the same way. So now, again, when we're in business, when we're in sales, and we're trying to be out there and connect with these people, well, remember, people's mindsets are in a whole different place right now. They're in relax mode. So we've got the distraction of the hot weather. We then also got that coupled with these rising interest rates, ridiculous gas prices, cost of groceries going up. And it's really just holding people back from making purchasing decisions right now. There's not as much money coming into people as there was 6 months ago, a year and a half ago. And that's just something that we've got to look at as a reality and say, and again, I don't want to take away from what I said off the top of the show here about tweaking those little things that you can be doing, right? Taking yourself to that next level, looking for those adjustments that you can make. The thing to understand, though, again, is as we're doing some tweaking, this is not about these all up big changes, because we can't impact or affect or change what the market is doing. We can only work within it, leverage what we know about it. Take the moments in time to, again, tweak the business, adjust the strategies. So I call this the time that we work on the business, okay? It's not about don't work in the business, but it's about work on the business. I'll break down for you in a second like what I think that should be, but as we go back to this monotony, this what's going on out there, when I'm hearing from people that, yeah, things are a little bit slower, I'm hearing from people that they're feeling demotivated. In fact, somebody said to me just the other day, they're like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm bored of having the same old conversation about rates right now. And what I said to them about that was, you're having the conversations. People are asking you the questions. That means that there's people out there that believe in you, believe in your message, believe in your knowledge. There's people out there that actually want to know what your opinion on the whole thing is. And so, yeah, it's a boring conversation right now. It's like this, like, again, get on that hamster wheel and every single day have the same conversation with somebody different. Beautiful. Amazing. Enjoy that. Embrace that. And as you sit back and go, but Dave, man, come on. It's so boring. I'm like, it's monotonous. Yeah, I'm with you. But also think to the fact that they're having it with you and not with somebody else. And understand that every single time you answer that and you give an educated response to that, you're doing a couple things. One, you're building positive mind share. And what we mean by building positive mind share is you're leaving this imprint in somebody's mind about what you're doing, what you know, who you are. You're positioning yourself in a way that they go, you know what, you're knowledgeable. And even if they're not looking to buy or sell anything right now, they're going to remember that. They are going to remember what you were saying to them. In the background, that positive mind share that you build, that is going to create positive market share. Now, it may not be today, it's not going to be immediate, but everything you do today, and always remember that, everything you do today sets you up, sets us up for what happens tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. If you do nothing, nothing will happen. If you focus on those daily efforts, having those boring conversations, feeling like a broken record, then the more people you speak with, the more people are going to remember what you had to say, and they will remember you when the time comes. And the time is going to come. It's just a matter of, do you have the patience and are you willing to put in the effort to do what you have to do right now to be ready for when that happens? Okay, so that's the first thing that happens when you have that conversation. So remember that. You are building positive mind share. You are planting that seed in people's minds. And at that moment, when it's time, that little space that you occupy on their brain, on their mind, that's going to come back up to light when it's time for them to decide they want to do something. Now, the second point to that of why to have these conversations, well, this goes back to the whole thing about changing the narrative. See, I gave up on the news about 3 years ago when that whole big thing across the world happened. I gave up. Way too much negativity, way too much of the same narrative, way too much of the, follow this, follow this, follow this. We can have a difference of opinion, whatever. My point is, there's not a lot of positivity that comes through the news, this mainstream media. And in that, they impact the market. Because the more they say one message, they have one narrative, the more they each repeat that amongst each other, the more people watch that, the more people believe that and go, well, that's how it is. Is it though? You see, by having the conversation with people and really explaining what's going on with the rates and really explaining what's going on with the market and digging for why they are asking that question, by doing that, what you end up doing is you end up changing the narrative. See, now you're educating people. You're giving them a different spin on what's happening out there. You're getting them to think a little differently about maybe what they heard. And now they're able to dissect that information, couple it together, and come up with their own thoughts about and opinions about what might be going on out there. And again, though, now you're involved in that. So as we talk about changing the narrative, as we all come together to do that and continue to educate our clients and continue to educate about the market and continue to look forward, like look ahead, we can help people start to see the light. And as they see the light, and as we've been building positive mind share, who are they coming back to when the time is right? You. So again, as I say about working on your business, one of those steps right now is exactly that. Have that conversation. Embrace the fact that they're coming to you and they're not going to somebody else. Embrace the fact that they're asking you and they're not just relying on what the mainstream media says or what the videos that they see on social media platforms say. They're giving you the opportunity here. That right there is gold. So some action steps here as we talk about working on the business. And again, why were we working on and not in? Well, we're working in. We're always working in. But think about this. When things get busy, like really, really busy, most of the time we're so busy inside the business, we don't have time to work on the business. Some examples, working on. Let's see. I got to update my website or maybe get a new one. I've got to clean up my database, right? I've got to review my branding, maybe get some new headshots, whatever. Working on the business. I got to review my systems. I've got to make some plans for Q3, even into Q4. That's us working on our business. The difference there, working in the business, I'm going to meet with clients. I'm going to do this deal. I'm going to, make those phone calls, send that email. Now you're working in. I think you get it, right? So again, when we talk about working on, one thing I am going to say, and I just kind of labeled it out, but one of the things you can do right now is you got a little bit more time on your hands and you're not out there with, clients at all times and things are a little bit slower and you know that people are distracted up at the cottage. I'm so jealous. Up at the cottage or on vacations or whatever they're doing, busy with just family, having fun. Take time in your schedule now, and you don't need to block an entire day. In fact, I'd suggest that you block, probably a 30 to 60 minute time block. Maybe some days might be 120 minutes if you have it. It doesn't have to be consecutive days, but take the time now to do this. Number one, audit your contact list. Go through that contact list of yours, top to bottom, the first person and the last person. Click on the profile of each of those people and make sure that you have complete contact information. Okay, you've got phone numbers, you got mailing addresses, and mailing addresses. Did you get that? Email addresses. Maybe you know their birthday, their favorite whatever. Connect with them on social media. Now is the time right now to take your opportunity to dig into that, to that boring data work. But let me remind you too, that database is your gold mine. And as long as you mine that shit, audit it, know who you got to talk to, have a plan for talking to them, have a plan for building mind share with them. The more you mine that shit, the more you are going to get a hell of a lot more gold in your pocket. I think you get that, right? So you're working on your contact list. Go through top to bottom and make sure you got complete information for everybody and make sure that everybody is on your 10-year plan. Meaning you've got a proper cross-channel marketing strategy that's going to be somewhat automated to keep you building mind share even when you're not physically there with them in person or on that phone with them. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, when we talk about working on your business as an action step here, I kind of already said this one too. Make those phone calls, right? Go back and keep having the conversation right now. One, you can ask people what they've been doing for the summer to keep busy. Two, you can ask people if they got any questions about anything and just have the conversation. Now, not everybody needs to be a business call. Some people it's just literally like a pleasure call, a personal call, a check-in hello call. Number 4, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. There you can tackle everything. Make the calls though. Okay, don't shy away from making the calls. Don't leave it to a video inside of an email. Don't leave it to just a simple text message. Don't leave it to just a social media post. Oh, but I saw that they went on vacation. It doesn't matter. What we need to do is we need to make sure we're having personal conversations, because the more personal conversations we have, the more we are building, again, positive mind share, the more we're building trust with people. And the more trust we build, the more opportunity we create. Okay? So we want to make sure that we're having those conversations with people. We're making those phone calls. And then finally, after we make the phone calls, we need to ensure that once we make the call, it's not just the call. That's not it. We've actually got to go ahead and schedule the follow-up on that. When am I going to make the next phone call? When am I going to make that next phone call? When am I going to follow up with them? What am I following up about? Well, what am I going to follow up about? Well, if you take proper notes about what you just talked about, they asked me about the rates, or we talked about going to the cottage, or we talked about baseball, whatever. I put that in my notes. Now I know when the follow-up is going to happen, right? Because I know what we talked about. I schedule the next touch point in for follow-up. Now the next time they come up in my CRM and I look at that and I say to myself, oh, I've got to call so-and-so. What did we talk about last time? Now I've got a jumping off point for my next conversation. So I'll wrap this with a bow again. You're having a boring conversation about rates right now. Make sure that you go into that particular contact in your database. And if they're not in the database, add them to the database, right? But if they're not in there, you add them. If they are in there, make sure that you can audit their profile to make sure you got complete information. You had the call, make the notes, and then schedule the next touch point. And just keep doing that. That right there is you working on your business. And let me tell you, none of that did I say it's going to cost you any money. And since you have the time right now, now's the time to do it, especially with the fact that we got the fall market coming up in just about, oh my God, like 30 days. Like, this is crazy how fast summer just went by. This is not even cool. But take the time to work on your business right now. Okay? 30 minutes spent calling is way better than 30 minutes spent trying to create a video. Okay? You might talk to 5 people on the phone. You might talk to 500 people through your video. Now I could argue both have value. Those 5 phone calls, though, that you had that were personal with one other person, those 5 phone calls are what are going to go create quicker opportunity for you than that video that's going to go out there that is really just hoping people watch it, hoping people pay attention, hoping people like what you had to say, and hoping that what? All of a sudden, because you put out a video, they're just going to up and like come to you to do a deal? Not really, right? Now, the phone call, you could say just because I made the phone call, they're going to do a deal? No, not necessarily. But it's a much more personal connection point with somebody that, again, creates that positive mind share. So again, 30 minutes spent calling is going to be much more effective for you and your business than 30 minutes spent trying to do one video. Think about your time. Think about your expectations. Think about what you actually want out of it. I know for me, when I do something, I want to make money. Right? When I'm putting the content out there, I'm doing it to educate my people, to educate you, to help you do something in your business going to take you next level. That for me That right there is what we call success. When we can help you get to that next level, we are all winning. It all comes back around. So if I'm going to have that conversation, I'm going to put out that content, I've got to figure out, you can go right back to this, what is the time that I'm going to take to make it happen? Where is my time going to be spent the best, being the most productive, the most effective for my business? And through the scheduling, I'm going to be able to actually balance it all and get it all in there. But if you've only got one block of time you can use, make those calls. Take the time right now, because we both know when things pick up, and they will, when things get busier, you may not have as much time to do it. And all the calls you do now are going to set you up for later. Now, another thing here is we're talking with people and they have a question about something. Okay. Hey, what do you think about the market? Whew, I got a lot of thoughts about the market. Let me ask you, why do you ask? See what I just did there? Instead of telling you directly what I think about the market, why do you ask? But I kind of sugarcoat that. I don't want to play hardball and, well, I'm not going to tell you unless you tell me why. It's not about that. This is about making conversation. See, because if I can understand the motive, the why they are asking that question, now I've got more to converse with them with. Because now I understand where it's coming from. Then I can dig deeper. And I might just unearth the fact that they're actually shopping, or that they have no even thoughts of shopping. The thing is that every conversation we have, anytime somebody starts talking about kind of what it is we do for a living, we expect that they're shopping. And they just might be. Yet we can't just expect. We can't just assume. Our role is to dig. Dig for their why. Why are they asking the question? And again, I know we hear this, you got to know the why. What's your why? This is not about your why. I'm asking you to figure out what their why is. See, once we figure out their why, and we dig deep enough to understand that through a whole bunch of open-ended questions, we try to control the conversation through asking the questions and letting them talk. Now, again, we unearth a lot more information, and now we could tailor a response, a conversation, to satisfying the reason they asked the question, not just giving them the answer to the question they asked. Does that make sense? Now, if you just said yes, good. If you said no, realistically, in either case, I didn't hear your response. Sorry, I'm just having fun. You know me, we want to have fun. This is what we call the art of working the deal, right? Truly digging for why they're asking the question, truly digging for why they reached out, truly digging for why they want to make this move. See, once we know that, we can satisfy that. But if we don't ask the questions, open-ended questions, it's going to be very difficult to give them the answer they're really looking for. Okay? Now, again, with a lot of people distracted and rates going up, and those boring conversations, I think I mentioned this already, but a lot of people are feeling, demotivated about what they're doing and the effort they're putting in a day. I do want to remind you, though, don't let this market demotivate you. Okay? Do what you have to do right now so that you can have what you want later on. Just because things aren't clicking the way you ultimately want them to right now, to sit there and rest in your laurels, to sit there and bitch and complain about them, to sit there and go, oh, but I'm just not feeling it. Look, first off, I'm with you. There are a lot of days that I just don't feel it. There are a lot of days that I look up and go like, what's going on? Or why are things not going on? And the reality is, the reason I get that feeling is because I'm trying. Because constantly, every single day, we're putting in the effort to get those things, to get to that place we want to be, to achieve those things we want to help those clients we want to help. So again, I get it. It's all good if you don't feel it right now. But this is not about up and give up. This is not about walk away. This is not about stop doing anything. This is not about, take a week off. Now, I will say this. If you haven't taken a week off, if you haven't taken time for yourself yet this year, then hey, not a bad time to start doing that as well. The point I'm trying to make here is that we are into the dog days of summer right now. And what I'm trying to do is keep you motivated through these dog days to understand that, look, it's a moment in time. To think that we're already where we are in the summer, where we are in this period of 2023, like how is it possible that we're this far along already? Things are just flying fast, which means they're going to continue to fly fast, which means this moment that you're feeling right now is not going to last forever. It's going to go away quicker than you think. Now, when it goes away, what we don't want to be is we don't want to be in a position where we haven't done anything right now. And now all of a sudden we got to turn on the switch and go 1,000,000 miles an hour. You're going to run out of steam. You know, we say it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Cliche line. And I said this, a few years back when we talked about after all this stuff, when things go back to normal and the world opens back up, right? It is going to be like the start of a marathon, where you've got a lot of people bunched up in the exact same spot. And the minute the gun goes off, everybody breaks through the ribbon, starts running at the exact same time. What happens? You got chaos. You got people tripping all over themselves. You got people who end up just like falling right out of the race right there. They just can't hack it. They weren't prepared. They didn't get themselves warmed up properly. Think about that. Again, yes, another sports reference. You don't walk into any game without a warm-up. So in this case right now, no pun intended for how warm it is outside, but right now is your time to warm up. Right now is your time to be ready to get out of the gate before everybody else. So how, Dave? Well, again, continue to have the conversations. Okay? Continue. Do the audit on the contact list, have the conversations, make the notes, and schedule the follow-up. That's 1. 2, working on your business in a big picture. Those things are really part of it. Well, part of working on the business as well is looking ahead and saying, okay, where am I going to be in August, in September, in even October? What do I know is coming up in my life that I can put in the schedule now so I can start to work around that stuff? These are the things that need to be done on the regular to prepare ourselves to get out of that gate and, again, get out of the gate ahead of people. It's not cheating. You're actually allowed to do that right now. So just because everybody's sitting around doing nothing doesn't mean sit around and do nothing. And when they get started, you're going to get started. Well, that doesn't make any sense. See, what we want is I'd call it the unfair advantage, but there's nothing unfair about it. You being prepared, you setting yourself up for what you need to be doing in your business, all of that stuff there and doing that consistently, there's the discipline that most people can't do it, right? And it's not that it's hard. It's just that either they're not driven enough or they haven't got the proper processes or they just don't want to put in the work. All right, cool. That's their problem. We don't have to live like that. We got the opportunity right now to take advantage of the fact that it's quiet out there. So again, paradigm shift right here. Take advantage of the fact that it's quiet out there. Make sure that you're scheduling so you're getting your free time and you're enjoying with family. At the same time, make sure that you're scheduling doing your IPAs, your income producing activities, so that everything you do today sets you up for what you want tomorrow. Look, we keep talking about this, and I will keep saying this, and I will keep driving it in there. Monday starts on Sunday. Right now, you have a beautiful opportunity to take advantage of a very quiet period of time. Take advantage for personal, take advantage for business, and that is how we continue to win. Don't let this market demotivate you, like I said a moment ago. Don't let it bring you down. Don't let those boring conversations go, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Or why? Or I got to change something. No. Keep trucking. Okay? Keep pushing. Those that have the strength to keep going are the ones who are going to win. And you have all the opportunity in the world right now to be that person. Most people won't do anything with any of what I just shared today. Just because. But I challenge every single one of you. Prove me wrong and don't be most people. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Tune back in next week. We'll be back with another amazing guest. This solo episode, though, was for you and I just to have a heart-to-heart to where we're at right now, for me to share some of the things that I've been hearing out there, And for me to try to drive home a message to you, just you and me, because I know you got this on your car speakers or in your earbuds right now. It's just you and me. Let this motivate you and take you to that place that you want to be. Again, what we do right now, that is what's going to set us up for what we want in just a few weeks from now. Go build that mindshare. You're either listening to this on one of your favorite podcast platforms, or maybe you went to my website, mindshare101.com. And while you're there, be sure to download your free copy of the Ultimate Marketing Bundle, our 31-page ebook, including your free 90-day social media content calendar to help you build more mindshare so that you get more market share. Reminder as well that if you want to talk about personalized one-to-one coaching, prices will be going up on September 1st. We understand that August, as we just talked about, can be a busy time, personal time with family. And although now is the ideal time for you to get yourself prepped for your fall market, you do have an option to lock into current pricing right now, but schedule your first call for after your summer vacation. Okay, so remember that. If you're like, I'm not feeling it, I don't know if I'm in the right mind space, I haven't got the time because we're I'll put the cottage. All right, lock into the pricing now and schedule your first call for when the summer vacation's over. We've only got a few spots available. Do not wait. Also, if you're planning an upcoming event, inquire today about having me as your keynote speaker. We're going to light people up, keep them on the edge of their seats. If it's you or somebody you know that's planning something, put our hat in the ring. We are there. We are going to make sure that it is an amazing, amazing event packed with a ton of value. If you're interested in exploring ongoing virtual training together, we have an amazing program called Momentum. We'd love to tell you more about it. Inquire with us. And in fact, for all inquiries, just get in touch with us. Go to mindshare101.com, click the buttons that are there, get in touch. We will set up a consultation call. We'll talk about what you're looking to achieve and how we will help you do just that. Don't forget to leave a review of this podcast. If you haven't done so yet, I'd be grateful if you did. Just go on over. If you're on iTunes, go straight to iTunes. If you're on Spotify, go to Spotify. We've also got this link, www.ratethispodcast.com/mindshare101. Go over there. You can click on that. That'll take you to your favorite platform, and you can leave us a nice review. Again, we'd be grateful for it, and thank you in advance. If we haven't connected on Facebook yet, find me at Mindshare101 and on Instagram at David Greenspan 101. I want to thank Kids Keep in Touch Systems and REM Magazine for sponsoring the Mindshare podcast. Be sure to visit our site to learn more about what these powerful companies will do to help you grow your business. This has been another episode of the Mindshare podcast. Thank you for tuning in.